Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Young here, and today I'm back in another Fortnite video. In today's video, I'm going to give you guys some simple tips you guys can use to win very easy here in Season 3. I have won a total of 8 games since Season 3 started, and I want to give you guys some tips and tricks that I have used that has personally helped me win so many games here at the start of the season, and I'm going to share those with you guys in this video. So if you guys need some help winning in Season 3, or just looking for some more good tips and tricks you guys can use, definitely stay to the end of the video. And real quick, before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway. I give away 2,000 V-Bucks every single Friday. So if you guys want to take part in this giveaway and win some free V-Bucks, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys do turn on post notifications so you guys get notified for every single new video and when I announce the winners. And lastly, leave a comment down below of either your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account, and you guys will be automatically entered into the next giveaway. And lastly, make sure you guys do add me in the item shop. All you guys have to do is go down to the bottom right, click on support a creator, type in creator code YoungHumor, which is my code, and you guys will have me added and supported as a creator in the item shop. And alright guys, let's go right to the video. Alright, so in this video, I wanted to give you guys some very good tips and tricks you guys can use to help you guys win more games here in Season 3. Like I said, I've won 8 games so far in the past, what has it been, probably like a day and a half. And there's been a few key things that I have been doing that really has given me an advantage against other players, and just some really good strategies that I currently use this season that really is super helpful to do. So the first thing that I want to talk about that I did notice when probably an hour or two after first playing is if you look at the map, of course there is a lot of water, but one thing you want to keep in mind is if you don't like water, you feel like you're not getting enough materials. If you look at the map, if you look at the right side of the map as opposed to the left side, you can see on the right side there's not too much water. Of course you have like the rivers, and that was, you know, what was in the previous season, but for the most part on the right side there really isn't too much water. So if you feel like you just hate the water, you can't stand it, and you feel like you're constantly dying because you're just having no mats, you're just not able to get out of the water, then you want to focus and stay on that right side because there's not as much water as opposed to left. There's still water, but there's not as much as on the left side. So that's just one thing to keep in mind if you feel like you're not getting enough materials, which for me, I landed Pleasant Park my first game of Season 3, and I just felt like there was no mats. You had the buildings, but other than that, there was really just no materials because everything else is surrounded by water. There just wasn't enough trees. So that's why I like to land on the right side of the map, because I feel like I get enough materials, and it just feels a lot more how it did last season, and I feel like I can get a lot more kills. I just feel way more comfortable on this side of the map, and like I said, you have way more options for getting materials, so you can easily stack 6, 7, 800 materials and then go push other players on the left side of the map if you choose, or if you just want to continue to stay on the right side, you can. But also something to keep in mind is because there's less water on the right side of the map, it is going to be a lot more heavy. So if you like to go for high kill games, you can most certainly expect a lot of people to be landing lazy and a lot of people to be landing retail, and just knowing that can give you a big advantage on this game. For this one, I landed over here by the chopper. I'm not really sure exactly what location this is, but no one landed here in my solo game. I was able to get pretty good loot. I got pretty good mats, and then I went to go push other players in this game. Now, as far as the weapons you want as opposed to all the weapons in the game, I'm just going to say right now, the P90 is the best weapon in this game. Hands down, it is so good. And I'm talking, it's even better than the drum gun. So they still had the drum gun in the game, but it had a little bit of a nerf. So before it was a really fast fire rate and it was 25 damage a shot, but now it's 24 damage a shot, so it's 1 less damage, which means if someone has 100 HP, it's going to take you 5 shots instead of 4, but at the same time the fire rate is significantly lower, which really, it just kind of kills the drum gun, which I ain't complaining because the drum gun really was overpowered. But with that in mind, the P90 is going to be the go-to weapon for this game. So if you're looking for the most overpowered weapon, I'm going to say right now the P90 hands down is super overpowered. I mean, it just rips through other players. It's 20 damage a shot. The fire rate is just crazy fast. You're going to be ripping through builds, ripping through HP. So if you want the most overpowered weapon in the game, P90 hands down, as opposed to any other weapon in the game. Now, of course, I think the shockwave grenade launcher, where you can like fling yourself across the map, I think is really good, but that doesn't really kill other players. So as far as firepower, I think the P90, if you really try to focus each and every game on getting materials and then getting a P90, I think you're going to have a significant advantage over other players who don't have that weapon, just because with everything else, with all the nerfs when it came to headshots with SMGs and ARs, and also if you look at shotguns, they're not really that strong. So you're not going to be, if you have a P90, you really just have a big advantage over other players. And that's also another thing to keep in mind as well. The shotguns are significantly weaker. You do have the charge shotguns, and if you can get a good charge on the shotgun and hit other players, you can actually hit for quite a bit of damage, and it actually has a little bit more range than opposed to like the pump shotgun of last season. So that's one thing I immediately noticed, is there was no pump shotgun, and they have the charge shotgun. The charge shotgun can be good if you get a charge off. Otherwise, I would just recommend using the TAC, which I did for most of my games. I was just using the TAC shotgun. And I seem to have pretty good success with it. Sometimes I hit 20 damage over and over, and then sometimes I hit for like 80 or 100 damage headshot. So it really is inconsistent with the TAC shotguns, but I probably do prefer the TAC as of right now. That might change depending on if I think the charge shotguns are really overpowered, but for right now I am using like a TAC and P90 type of loadouts. Now as far as rotation, it's a little bit more difficult. As I mentioned at the beginning, there's going to be a lot more water on that left side, so maybe carrying a fishing pole and using a shark to rotate really quickly could be a really good advantage. Also at the same time, if you looked at the location that I landed at first, you will notice that there is going to be a helicopter, which can be very useful in a lot of situations, so maybe rotating quickly. And at the same time, there's annoying henchmen that really come out of nowhere and they want to really, they literally follow you across the map. You guys know what I'm talking about. Those 5 henchmen that like are in groups. Those things are super annoying. So having a helicopter or having some fast mobility can be a really good way to get away from those type of henchmen, and you're not going to get hit with a 10,000 stink bombs and get sniped at forever. So landing next to mobility and using mobility in the season can provide a really good way to, first of all, get away from the henchmen, and second of all, being able to rotate very fast. And it's not like the end of last season where you had like the flooding zone, and you could, like, if you got hit by the zone, you were pretty much done for. The zone is regular, and for the most part, I haven't had too many issues getting launch pads. So as far as rotating, you don't have to necessarily rotate that early if you don't want to, just because, like I said, as long as you have a launch pad, and that's also another tip I would recommend as well, is always saving at least one launch pad in your inventory. That can be very good. So in the case you maybe get third partied and shot from different directions, for the case you maybe get stuck in the zone or have a zone that's across the map, I would always recommend having one launch pad in your inventory. Even if you see a guy like say 100 meters in front of you, I would recommend saving your launch pad, just because I think it's one of those things that you never know, and you really sometimes can get caught in different situations unexpectedly. So for instance, you're just running through the map, you're running through Lazy Lake, and there's some little Timmy camping 200 meters away with a sniper rifle, and then he hits you for like 150 damage out of nowhere, and then in that instance, someone else comes to your side. So something like that, it could be very useful to always carry a launch pad, just in case, for instance, you get stuck in those type of situations. I think it's always good to try to save as much materials and as well save as much launch pads as you can. At least have one in your inventory just in case you get caught in those bad situations. And the last thing that I want to talk about that really gave me an advantage too, and that is going to be, as you maybe may or may not know, as of just the start of the season, for those guys who play in controller, aim assist got like a pretty bad nerf. I think it was like 30%, some people were saying, and wasn't surprisingly, I was missing quite a few shots. So one thing I did, if you feel like you're missing a lot of shots, I would recommend just turning down your sensitivity a little bit. So for me, I lowered my aim down sights when I press L2 and I aim down my sights. I moved my sensitivity from 11% to 9%, and this really gave me a huge advantage when it came to aiming down my sights. And just because of all the aim assist nerfs in the game, if you feel like you're missing shots, I would recommend lowering your sensitivity a little bit. You don't have to lower it like a crazy amount, just maybe a couple points here and there, and that can give you a big advantage on your aim. I'm going to be releasing a best settings for aim tomorrow, so if you guys are curious on the current settings, I literally made a settings video like 3 days ago. I really like the settings, and then of course Epic Games goes ahead and nerfs aim assist by 30%, so I'm gonna have to change a few things around. So if you guys want to see the video I'm releasing tomorrow on the best sensitivity to use for aiming, definitely hit that like button, subscribe, and slap on notifications because I will be dropping that tomorrow, and it's going to be a very good video and showing you guys the best settings to use that I think is going to help you guys out the most and allow you to be very accurate even after all these nerfs are doing to aim assist. So with that being said, that's wrap up for this video. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys do hit that like button, make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel, and as well slap on those notifications so you guys get notified for every single new video. And as well, I do live stream every single day on this channel at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, so definitely come by my live streams. The first day was a ton of fun. I ended up getting 7 wins on stream here in Season 3, so I played really good. Hopefully I can do the same today and get a ton more wins. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching the video, and guys, I will see you next video.